Sheesh. Yeah. Everybody want to be in entertainment till it's time to get down to the business. Yeah. Glitz and Ghetto. Glitz and Ghetto. Yeah. Glitz and Ghetto. It's Glitz and Ghetto. Glitz and Ghetto. It's Glitz and Ghetto. The glitz and glamour is a setup, cause behind the scenes it really is ghetto. Yeah. All right. Let's set this up. Playback. Let's turn it around. Now let's get into our seat. Ooh. Here we go. I gotta get a better setup. Ooh, slide my feet under here. Whew. Well, my makeup looks pretty. Shout out to me for hair, makeup, wardrobe, all the things. All right, let's see what we looking like here. Bring my mic a little closer. Okay, I think we're pretty solid. We're in our right location. All right. And 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time you are watching the Glitz and Ghetto podcast, y'all. I am so sorry that I missed y'all a week and a half ago because I was supposed to put out an episode, but I was celebrating my birthday. Pisces season. Was having a good time, was able to celebrate, spend time with friends and family, and well, not really family, but really friends, and just really be able to celebrate myself. I took some time to just like relax. I turned 37, and as my students would like to say, 6'7". Either way, I'm very proud and very happy to be 37. I feel renewed. I feel rejuvenated. I feel just amazing about where I'm at in life. And I just know that like so many other great things are in store for me. So I do apologize for taking that time off, but I needed time to celebrate. And, that brings me to the reason why we're here for this episode, which is, do entertainers need degrees? Like, is it necessary for us to go to college? Is it necessary for us to go on and get other skill sets as we pursue these careers in the entertainment industry? And you're like, Naderah, what does one have to do with the other? And I just got to let y'all know that a girl is motherfucking tired. Okay? As I said in many other episodes before, I got 3 jobs, a career, and a business. Okay? Let's talk about the jobs that I have. Okay? I'm a long-term substitute teacher within the school system, teaching dance classes. I used to teach 6th grade math, but then this opportunity came where a high school needed a dance instructor. So duh, I'm the girl who got that. I teach at an after-school dance program, and then I'm also the director of a dance company at a college. 3 jobs. The money's great when it comes in, but I get tired, okay? In addition to all those things, yes, I'm still on the market as a talent. I'm performing, I'm hosting, I'm gigging, I'm auditioning. I have all those things going on as a professional entertainer, which is, why we're here anyway. And then on top of that, as a person who celebrates my degree in accounting, I also have a tax business. And we are in the thick of tax season. And I don't know what's gotten into you gals, but it seems like the week after my birthday, all of y'all wanted to see y'all tax documents and was like, can you get it done today? Sister and brother, I wish I could. But unfortunately, that's just not how it went down. You know what I'm saying? So I still have a lot of clients and things that, I'm working through right now, which I'm very thankful and very blessed. But these are all the things that I have to do in order to live my life and to support the lifestyle that I want to maintain as a professional performing artist. Before we get down into the nitty-gritty of all of it, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, if you're new here, I am Naderah. Welcome to the Glitz and Ghetteaux podcast. Please feel free to follow me on all social media platforms. That's on Instagram and TikTok at @Iam_Naderah. And then also, if you're a fan of this podcast, if you're not a fan of this podcast, if you want to share this insight with someone else, please feel free to follow us on social media at the handle that's on the screen at Glitz and _Ghetto. That's Glitz and _GHETTEAUX. Okay? On all social media platforms. And we want to hear from you guys. Like, if you have any questions specific to the entertainment industry, you want to figure out what route you want to go, you want to figure out all those things, please visit us online at glitzandghetto@gmail.com. Let me double check to make sure that's correct. Yes, it is glitzandghetto@gmail.com. Please send us an email, etc. We want to hear from you. We want to know all the things that, you want to talk about. We want to know all the questions that you have because it's important for us to make sure that we're addressing the community and the needs that they have. All right? So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into, do entertainers and entertainment professionals need degrees? And in a short answer, the answer is no, you don't need a degree. But I will say that as a working professional entertainer, understanding how the world is set up, understanding that the entertainment industry is ebbs and flows, hit or miss, and every artist can attest to this. Like, it's really difficult to maintain a lifestyle as a professional entertainer or within the entertainment industry. Yes, you can get to a point where you're making a substantial amount of money, and that's wonderful. But even those individuals who have years of making six figures plus in the entertainment industry can all get to a point, i.e., like the pandemic, where the money's not coming in from entertainment. And so, what are you going to do? Of course, you don't need a degree to go get other job opportunities because you can go be a bartender. You can go teach dance classes or acting classes or start your own business. You can go into being a barista or whatever the case might be. But for me, if I'm going to be transparent about the whole situation, I'm accustomed to a certain lifestyle now. Okay. I have been privy to, dating very wealthy individuals who have taken very good care of me throughout my lifetime and throughout my career. I never said this on air, but let's just be real about it. When I first started my career in the industry, I had a sugar daddy. Okay. Not the most proud moment in my life, but a lot of people know that this industry is very expensive. And so my boyfriend, he wasn't my sugar daddy, but in hindsight, he was much older and he was taking care of me. We gonna call him a sugar daddy. Okay. He was taking care of me. He made sure I got my headshots, my photo shoots done. He paid for studio sessions. He paid for writers, producers, wardrobe, all the things that I needed. He took care of that. And all those things were super expensive. Super expensive. In addition to that, it also provided me with a lifestyle where I was able to travel and wear nice fashion, get good bags and shoes and clothes. And of course, you also got me a car and paid for my apartment and all the things that I needed to thrive and be this hottie in the industry. That man took care of it. Okay. And unlike, a lot of individuals who would take that moment and like splurge it, I took those investments and I poured back into my career. So I do have wow, I got an EP, y'all. A 3-song EP that's out, that I put out in 2014. That's how I started my company, Acid Entertainment. I was able to launch my career as a professional dancer. I was able to move to Atlanta and go into film and TV, carefree and just really focus in on those things, which allowed me to have the, access to all the things that I have now. Even though that relationship didn't maintain me throughout, it did jumpstart a lot of the things that I had going on. So, with that being said, yes, I'm privy to a certain lifestyle that I don't want to go backwards. As a young brown beauty from the hood, as, super black girl would say, I grew up rough, and that's not the lifestyle that I wanna live. And so, me being a graduate of the illustrious Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, I also have a litany of skills that I can utilize to help myself to be more successful in the industry, okay? When we're talking about degrees and pursuing the entertainment industry, it doesn't matter what you get your degree in because in this day and age, a degree is just currency to say that you have followed through, that you can do something without someone like guiding you through it and you know how to adult. That's what a degree says. So whether you have a degree in accounting like me, whether you have a doctor of pharmacy, or whether you have a degree in underwater basket weaving, okay? A degree is going to help you in so many ways, okay? Why do I say that? When you have a degree, you have access to greater resources in terms of the type of money that you're going to ask for from the jobs that you do outside of the industry. And I don't care what anybody tells you, on this path to success, you need capital to invest inside of your career. You need capital to pay your rent, to pay your utilities, to get to and from these networking events. All these things are unpaid. This is a entrepreneurial pursuit, and I wanna drill that into your heads as much as possible. You are an independent contractor providing a service to a production company, etcetera, artist, whatever may have you. It is entrepreneurial in its pursuit because you have to develop the brand, you have to develop the marketing strategy that you're going to utilize to put yourself out there. You have to network. You have to facilitate a business that is substantial so that people and production companies are attracted to you as a brand in order to hire you. A lot of these jobs will hire you via W-2, but a lot of them, whether it be a tour or independent project or a whatever, especially if you're working in production and behind the scenes, they will give you a 1099 as an independent contractor. Okay. And what is an independent contractor? An independent contractor could be a business entity like a LLC, or you could be a sole proprietor working underneath your social security number as an individual providing services to those who require and request your service. Okay. So when we get back to having those degrees will allow you to tap into jobs and resources that will help you to finance your career. There's a reason why the narrative of a starving artist is so prominent in the industry because historically, artists weren't going to school to get degrees. Arts degrees were not something that were highly celebrated or decorated. Those programs are fairly new, right? So, getting your bachelor's of fine arts is a fairly new concept. And I'm saying fairly new inside of the spectrum of education, okay? Performing arts degrees are fairly new. These institutions where you can get a MFA or a BFA, they're great, right? And they prepare you for a opportunity to use the theory of performance. But I think it also exposes you to the opportunity to critically think, because when you're pursuing these creative degrees, etc., you are also still required to take those core classes in English and math and science in order to maintain those degrees, which is how you get the bachelor's or the master's of science in fine arts, etc. Okay. When we talk about what you're going to choose to go to college for, if you are a person like me, I started dancing and performing as a singer, dancer, actress since I was a kid. When I wanted to go to college, I asked my mother, I said, "Oh my God, I've applied to these different institutions, to go for the arts. I got a scholarship to a couple of them, you know what I'm saying?" And when I graduated from my high school, New World School of the Arts, we were also affiliated with the Miami-Dade Community College at the time. It's now Miami-Dade College, where we had dual enrollment credits. So by the time I graduated my senior year of high school, I had all my freshman credits as a BFA dance major, which is wonderful, right? And so that allowed me the opportunity to get a full scholarship to New World College that was also an affiliation with the University of Florida, where I would have only had to do 3 years of training of education, excuse me, in order to graduate with my bachelor's of fine arts, okay? So when I went on to college, I thought that of course I'm going to major in dance because I grew up dancing. I grew up, going to high schools. I graduated with all these credits in dance education or dance, of course. And so of course I'm going to go major in dance, but my parents, my mother more specifically was like, "Hell to the no, She said, "Girl, you already know how to dance. You do not need a degree in something that you already know how to do. You need to get a degree in something that's going to help you if you don't make it as a professional entertainer, or if you do make it as a professional entertainer, what if you get injured? What if something happens? What if all those things go down? You need something that's going to sustain you." So, the only other program that I had applied to that wasn't arts related was at Florida A&M University, FAMU to be specific. Okay. I applied to the School of Business, and I only did that because my sister said it had a good business school. And if you know me, you know I love my sister. My sister's my sister. Okay. I kind of follow her in her footsteps all the time because she's just amazing in the blueprint. But I digress. She applied to FAMU School of Business. She ended up going to another institution, but I was like, okay, well, I'll apply there. I had no idea what an HBCU was. I had no idea what I was doing as a first generation college student. I just knew that I had to go to college, and my parents, my grandparents and my parents were not going to have it any other way. It just was what it was. So I ended up going to FAMU and I got into the School of Business, and that was the greatest misinformed decision that I ever made in my life. I was screaming that from the mountaintops. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I'm so glad that I got myself into it because it changed my life. I knew that when I got to Tallahassee before I went to college that I was gonna go to FAMU, major in business, and if I didn't like it, I was gonna transfer to Florida State and go to their dance department because I had made it into their dance department as well. And so, when I got to FAMU, I was like, "Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. So y'all see me here, but I'm transferring. Trust me, I won't be here." And then FAMU did what FAMU does. It ingrained me with so much pride, and I represent Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, October 3rd, 1887. What? I made so many great relationships. I learned networking. I joined Mahogany Dance Theater. I became a member of the FAMU Connection, where I served as the dance captain as a and rehearsal director. I became the student that was very well known in the Student Government Association because I was choreographing the Mr. and Miss FAMU pageant, the freshman graduate attendant pageant. Like, if you wanted to win a campus position, you needed to be good with me because I was going to put you in a position to be seen on stage and celebrated. And so FAMU played a major role in who I am today as a businesswoman. While I was at the School of Business, my grandfather called me. He said, "We need an accountant in the family, and Naderah, it's going to be you." Who, Grandpa? Do you know that I failed my first financial accounting class? Why me? My grandfather said to me, "Naderah, I've gone through your math skills with you. All it is about practice, lock in on those books, and take the course again, and you're gonna be the family accountant." Well, my grandfather was not wrong. Because I did study harder. I did implement the things that he had instilled in me as my tutor, growing up from like middle school when I was taking those advanced math classes and I was starting to struggle. My grandfather really showed up. And so all the skills that he had taught me then and reviewed with me then, I applied it to my degree. And of course, I retook that financial accounting class. I got an A. I started helping to tutor people. And then I changed my major to accounting. And so now I have this degree in accounting that I could do so many things. Okay. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Last year, terrible year for me as an artist. Terrible. Okay. But because in 2024, when I was on tour the entire year, I didn't splurge my money everywhere. My acumen in business said, "Naderah, you don't know how long this money's going to last. The tour is going to come to an end in November of 2024. You don't know what the heck 2025 is going to bring. You need to be putting money away." So what did I do? I kept putting money to the side. As I got paid, I paid myself first. And one good thing about tours is that you get paid on a weekly basis, okay? You get paid on a weekly basis. And so I was putting money to the side so that by the time 2025 came, not only was I like working through my business and the only money that I made was through my financial services business, Entertainers Financial, shameless plug, but I still had a nice little cushion of savings that also was my saving grace. Taxes and my pillow of cushion that I put to the side of $10,000 got me from January all the way to October of 2025. All I had was November and December to figure out, and I got like a little side job, whatever that helped to pay those like extra little things on the side. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is my degree helped me to navigate this industry in a way where I did not have to struggle, where I did not have to go become a midnight ballerina, which no shade to them, it's just not my path. I didn't have to work out of desperation. I didn't take jobs and opportunities that I knew were not for me. Okay. So having that degree is going to set you up in a position to where not only do you have the tools, but you have the critical thinking skills to place yourself strategically so that you can have the things that you ultimately desire as a professional within the entertainment industry. Okay. Oftentimes I hear um people on social media asking questions about, "Hey, Naderah, my daughter or son wants to be a professional dancer. Do you suggest I send them to school to get a degree in dance?" Now, if you want to get a degree in dance, because I do have my minor in dance education, like I said, I graduated from high school with those first year credits, so I just needed a couple more by the time I got to FAMU. Excuse me, y'all. I'm really just itching right now. Yes, I had all those things happen. However, in order to pursue this career, I did not need a degree in dance. I didn't. Does that dance minor help me right now? Of course it does, because I'm a long-term sub teaching as a full-time teacher in the school system, a dance class that is based within HBCU dance. But also, I'm able to build that curriculum and go through the pedagogy of dance with these students because of that dance background. But would I say you need a degree in your specific art field in order to make it? No, you don't. As I pursue Broadway and live stage theater, a lot of my colleagues and friends that I've been privy to work with, who I have the honor of knowing, a lot of them did go to certificate programs to get their arts certifications, or they went to schools like Pace or Juilliard, etc. But they didn't need to do that. It did help them in a lot of regards because they were in the city where that specific art form was available. But I also realized that there are new programs that are popping up that are teaching the commercial dance industry, and this industry changes so frequently that I don't think the program's curriculum meets the demands of the ever-changing industry, especially with the production of artificial intelligence and those things kind of taking those on-screen opportunities. We're never going to get rid of live theater, but also I don't think that you necessarily need a degree in those things in order to be successful at it. I got 2 pages of a resume in the commercial dance industry and some theatrical and concert work, but I don't have a degree in dance or theater performance or things like that, right? Another reason why I'm going to say it's important for you to go to college and to be specific about what your pursuit is, because even in 2026, every single gig that I've had thus far has traced back to my experiences at FAMU. Not only was I dance captain and rehearsal director for dance companies on campus, but I also was given the distinct honor of being inducted into the Beta Alpha chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Oh, shout out to my sorors. And with that, the nature of society today is that HBCUs are being celebrated. And one of the ways that they're celebrating HBCUs is by way of highlighting the Divine Nine. Okay. And Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is a part of the Divine Nine. So, for those of you who don't know what the Divine Nine is, it is a national pan-Hellenic council that encompasses 9 fraternities and sororities of African descent. Okay. So we have the alphas, the AKAs, we have the omegas, we have the kappas, we have the deltas, we have the sigmas, the zetas, the iotas. I'm missing somebody. The iotas. Did I say? Let's do it one more time. We got the alphas, the AKAs. We got the kappas. We got the Qs, omega psi phi. We have deltas. We have sigmas. We have zetas. We have SG rows, and we have iota phi theta. That's all 9. Sorry. Had to get it together. I was missing somebody. Try to say them in founding order. Either way, those 9 organizations make up the National Pan-Hellenic Council, and I'm so privileged to be an active member of my organization. Yes, I'm financial, period. I'm proud to say that because I just paid my dues for the first time in a decade, okay? Either way, that's neither here nor there. In 2026, a lot of the gigs that I've been getting, whether it's been to speak publicly at school functions, whether it has been to represent the Divine Nine at school functions or career days or public platforms like basketball games or festivals that celebrate HBCU lifestyle, I've been able to do that through my affiliation with not only FAMU, but with my affiliation as a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So being in college, getting those opportunities and choosing an HBCU has also panned out in so many areas of my career. one of my greatest accolades or prides of my career is being a part of Coachella with Beyonce. I was the symbol girl. That also represented HBCU lifestyle. My first tour that I ever went on was Drumline Live, which celebrated HBCU marching band and dance line. That wasn't the first tour, but that was like the first like consistent city tour that I went on. I was also previously a performer on tour with Trina, but we had like spot dates and things of that nature. But the first consistent tour that I had gone on for months on end was with Drumline Live. I was a part of the quad on BET. I was a stepper in a sorority on Star on Fox. I did HBCU dance inside of just so many different shows like Boomerang on BET, the Quad on BET, just so many things. Like my career goes back to my experiences at HBCU so many times. Even when it comes to me being a host on the sidelines at Fields with ESPN, goes back to my HBCU lifestyle. The last job that I did over the weekend, I was hosting at Battle in the Apple as a curator of HBCU Dance Line, but they also requested that I wear paraphernalia that represented either my sorority or my HBCU. There was a symposium that we did in January where I was able to wear my FAMU paraphernalia. So then at the actual event, when I was hosting the behind the scenes and the digital version of the competition, I was able to represent Delta. And so representation absolutely matters. And going back to the reason for this episode, is going to college important? Yes, it is, because even as the industry is plummeting, because everybody knows that things are very limited, um, auditions are happening, but a lot of people, like, the money's not as great. National tours are going on, and they're on production contracts. $900 a week? Yuck. Artists used to be able to make a lifestyle out of going on tour. You would go on tour, you make so much money, you can go back and buy you a home. That's not happening anymore. I mean, yes, I was able to save about $10,000 from when I was on tour, but that was a sacrifice. I fortunately didn't have like a huge lease, and I had someone subletting my apartment so that I could put money to the side. Yeah. And everybody doesn't do that. Okay. So, with that being said, having a degree is going to benefit you in the most ways because it gives you greater opportunity for resources so that you don't have to audition out of desperation. So, you don't have to go after this career as if it's the end all be all, even though you're passionate about it. More specifically, when I'm speaking about this, I'm talking to dancers. I feel unfortunately we as dancers get the shortest end of the stick because we don't literally have a voice. Everything that we do on set is with our bodies. So actors, singers, even musicians, like they have a voice, they're making a sound. People have no choice but to notice them because it's audible. Dance is just a feeling and we get to move. And so we don't get as much respect, right? But we're required to show up the hardest. We're required to work the hardest. We're putting our bodies through all this rigorous activity. What we do is just as difficult, if not as rigorous, as a professional football player, but we got to do it with facial expressions and a smile. That gets taxing on the body. I'm 37, okay? Let me tell y'all a story real quick. I went into an audition at 9 o'clock in the morning. They had us doing jump kicks and jump splits at 9 a.m. Sorry, not sorry. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Give me the step. Yes, I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to twirl on the girls, but I don't want this job because if that's what it requires me to do at 9 a.m. today, I can only imagine what y'all going to have me doing in that rehearsal and what y'all going to have me doing in that show. No, I'll pass. And I was in the room with like 18 and 19-year-olds. They were so excited to be there. I said, you got it, girl. You better eat down. I don't want to do that. So with that being said, we have to always think about our future because our bodies go through so much and we can't control the fact that like injuries happen even when we least expect it. I'm still nursing an injury that I endured in 2017 during Coachella. I re-injured it on tour in 2024. It's 2026. I still feel that girl. I still feel her. So to me, when they ask us, do we need degrees? Yes, we need degrees. which is a very different story than what I said at the beginning, because at the beginning I said, no, you don't need a degree. You don't need one, but you should have one. It's going to expose you to greater opportunity. It's going to put you in a position to walk into rooms boldly and confidently and get to know so many different characters that are there, because a lot of times as artists, we only want to talk to other artists, but other artists are not the ones cutting the check. You going to college exposes you to people that will go on to work for brands in their marketing departments, in their events coordinating departments, and they will hire you for things. They will give you contracts. A lot of the things that I've done have come by way of my collegiate relationships as well. Going back to my first tour of Drumline Live, I met Don Roberts on the campus of Florida A&M University at homecoming. That led to Coachella, that led to the Quad on BET, that led to so many other things that opened the door for me to do Meg the Stallion, Beyonce at the Oscars, The Color Purple, and all those sort of things that have nothing to do with HBCU, college, marching band, etc. In addition to that, as a businesswoman, the career that I've started, or the business, I'm sorry, that I've started with Entertainers Financial, because I was so knowledgeable about taxes and finances, so many of my industry friends came to me and said, "Hey, Naderah, I have questions." I turned it into a business because I was helping so many people. That has then funded my life. Like I said, last year, all I lived off of was income tax money from income tax season, not like a refund because I owed last year. Boo. It is what it is. However, um, I lived off of money that I made from preparing taxes for people, as well as digital products that I sold, and the cushion of $10,000 that I saved from tour the previous year. Having that degree is going to make you a better artist, and it's going to fund the things that you actually want to do, because the people that are producing their own things are the ones that are winning. They're the ones that are winning. So, thank y'all so much for listening to this episode of the Glitz and Ghetto podcast. I hope that this has been insightful for you. I hope that my own story and my life experiences have exposed you to what the possibilities are inside of the entertainment industry, because it's nitty-gritty. It is Glitz and Ghetto. And before I end this episode officially, I do want to say that those critical thinking skills that you get from college, having to read books and write papers and do your due diligence on research and citing credible sources, is also going to help you, because there's a lot of hearsay that happens in the industry, and you need to be able to navigate around that. You're going to get contracts. You're going to be in negotiations with agents and managers, etc. You need to know how to navigate those things, and the exposure that you get to that in college is so pivotal in helping you to have a more lucrative career and having longevity within it, especially for my people who work in production behind the scenes. Those relationships are connecting the dots for your success. That negotiating power is connecting the dots for your success. So get those degrees. It's not going to hurt you. I know you feel like by the time you come out, it's too late. I did feel like that, because I have friends that had graduated high school and went directly into the industry, and they started working, but they have their own struggles, and maybe they have to do things a little backwards. But all I know is that it has helped me in so many ways. And not only do I have this business in the financial service industry, I have also produced multiple things. My business acumen has helped me to market for tours that were on the brink of shutting down, has opened the doors for me to become an executive assistant to directors and producers on major productions, so that I have access to greater resources and opportunities, not only on camera, but within production behind the camera. This journey is ever evolving. And you, if you're anything like me, my heart and my soul and my passion is within the creative arts, creative expression, and or the entertainment industry, if you will. And so I never want to leave this industry. I love artists so much. I advocate for artists, and I don't know where this path is going to lead me, but I do know that my experience in the entertainment industry, along with my business acumen and my degree, are going to come together to create something even more beautiful and spectacular. And this is just like, I don't want to even say the beginning because it's not the beginning, but like this is the elevation and the evolution of what's next. And so as you continue to build your career, I want you to consider these things and know that resources are available to you. And if you have any questions, I want you to reach out to me. If you want to know what should I get my degree in? What school should I go to? Is sorority and fraternity life for me? Is it going to be beneficial to my career? Whatever question you have, please email me at glitzandghetto@gmail.com, and I would love to answer your questions. Do me the biggest favor, like, share, and subscribe to this content, and share it with a friend. Anybody that you know that's thinking about entertainment, anybody that you know that is actively pursuing entertainment, anyone that you know that is from an HBCU on their way to Hollywood, etc. I want to help y'all out because I love y'all in real life. Either way, this is another episode of the Glitz and Ghetteaux podcast. I love y'all real, real bad. And I'll see y'all soon. Peace. Sheesh. Yeah. Everybody want to be in entertainment till it's time to get down to the business. Yeah. It's all smoke and mirrors. What you can't see behind our public figures. Know you convinced by the glitz and the glam, but let's talk about how it really goes down. The sleep was nice, the sacrifice, your rate of pay, now you the stress. Yeah, they want you to stay in your lane. Got too many talents with your claim to fame. Opportunities unlimited. Look at Naderah. That girl is living it in. She bringing out all of her friends to talk about it so you understand. They talk about all of the noise all over the blogs and in the tabloids. To teaching the industry lessons they learn. So turn up the volume so you don't get burnt. Film and TV, she does that. Theatrical, she been that. And Glitz and Ghetto was our podcast to show you how to achieve that. You were born to entertain, but this ain't for leisure. You came to get paid. The Glitz and Glamour is a setup, cause behind the scenes, it really is ghetto. Yeah, Glitz and Ghetto. Glitz and Ghetto. Yeah, Glitz and Ghetto. Glitz and Ghetto. You were born to entertain, but this ain't for leisure. You came to get paid. The Glitz and Glamour is a setup, cause behind the scenes, it really is ghetto. Yeah, Glitz and Ghetto. Glitz and Ghetto. Yeah, Glitz and Ghetto. It's Glitz and Ghetto. Glitz and Ghetto. It's Glitz and Ghetto. The Glitz and Glamour is a setup, cause behind the scenes, it really is ghetto.